In what circumstances is BX allowed and in what length? Everyone states that everything is required to be rigid conduit, but there must be some exceptions. Thanks.
Welcome. My name is would be glad to assist. The local AHJ, authority having jurisdiction, always has the final say in matters. Here is the allowed use of the AC cable as defined by the code, commonly known name BX, 320.2 definition armored cable, type AC. A fabricated assembly of insulated conductors in a flexible interlocked metallic armor. Type AC cable shall have an armor of flexible metal tape and shall have an internal bonding strip of copper or aluminum in intimate contact with the armor for its entire length. The difference in it and the MC cable is the ground path. The AC has a strip in the cable, where MC cable has full ground wire inside. 320.10 uses permitted. Type AC cable shall be permitted as follows: 1. For feeders and branch circuits in both exposed and concealed installations. 2. In cable trays. 3. In dry locations. 4. Embedded in plaster finish on brick or other masonry, except in damp or wet locations. 5. To be run or fished in the air voids of masonry block or tile walls where such walls are not exposed or subject to excessive moisture or dampness. Here are the defined uses not allowed. 320.12 uses not permitted. Type AC cable shall not be used as follows: 1. Where subject to physical damage. 2. In damp or wet locations. 3. In air voids of masonry block or tile walls where such walls are exposed or subject to excessive moisture or dampness. 4. Where exposed to corrosive conditions. 5. Embedded in plaster finish on brick or other masonry in damp or wet locations. So, whether it can be used, will be based on the exact situation of the installation. Let me know if there is anything further needed. Thanks.
Thanks for the information. To be clear, this is Cook County EL code? They are so rigid here. In my specific instance in the ADIS I have differing opinions. I have 2 BX lines feeding to lights in the attic from a J box. One line is 7 feet and the other is 8 feet. On one hand I'm hearing no BX is allowed ever, everything is rigid conduit, and the other that BX is allowed up to 6 feet. Are either of these correct?
Give me a few minutes to see what amendments the Cook County Board may have on the NEC codes, if any. That is solely at the local level, not the national or state level. Unless the attic space does not provide the 1. Where subject to physical damage in the code. Otherwise, let me see what the county has in their amendments. Still trying to find the actual wording on the AC cable. I found that Cook County has the Chicago City Code adopted, so it is looking more like the cable is not allowed in any lengths longer than 6 feet, but let me find the code article before we commit to that. Just wanted to keep you posted.
Thanks. I'll wait for the confirmation.
Ouch, the code is very difficult to navigate, but after going through articles found the AC cable. BX is a term used by many. It is listed as AC cable in all codes. You will not find the term BX in any code because it is merely AC cable by definition. They definitely want conduit for all installations. 1827.333.3 uses permitted. Except where otherwise specified in this chapter and where not subject to physical damage, listed type AC cable with listed fittings shall be permitted for branch circuits and concealed work fished into existing walls or partitions where it is not possible to install conduit. Type AC shall be permitted for exposed work only under the following conditions: 1. In lengths not more than 2 feet, 610 mm, long at terminations where flexibility is necessary. 2. In lengths not greater than 6 feet, 1.83 meters, inaccessible, but not habitable, attics and roof spaces where installed in accordance with Section 1827.333.12, in lengths not greater than 5 feet, 1.5 meters, below the basement ceiling joists where it is necessary to connect a cabinet or junction box. Type AC cables shall be permitted in dry locations and embedded in plaster finish on brick or other masonry, except in damp or wet locations. It shall be permissible to run or fish this cable in the air voids of masonry block or tile walls where such walls are not exposed or subject to excessive moisture or dampness. This is only for the allowed 6 feet length installation above in the attics. 1827.333.12 Inaccessible attics. Type AC cables in accessible attics or roof spaces shall be installed as specified in A and B of this section. A. Where run across the top of floor joists. Where run across the top of floor joists, or within 7 feet, 2.13 meters, of floor or floor joists across the face of rafters or studding, in attics and roof spaces that are accessible, the cable shall be protected by substantial guard strips that are at least as high as the cable. Where this space is not accessible by permanent stairs or ladders, protection shall only be required within 6 feet, 1.83 meters, of the nearest edge of the scuttle hole or attic entrance. B. Cable installed parallel to framing members. Where the cable is installed parallel to the sides of rafters, studs, or floor joists, neither guard strips nor running boards shall be required, and the installation shall also comply with Section 1827.300.4d, except where it has been necessary to fish. 1827.333.4 Uses not permitted. Type AC cable shall not be used where prohibited elsewhere in this chapter, and is not permitted for the following: 1. For any installation not permitted in Section 1827.333.3, 2. In theaters and similar locations, or in places of assembly, 3. In motion picture studios, 4. In any hazardous, classified, location, 5. Where exposed to corrosive fumes or vapors, 6. On cranes or hoists, except as provided in Section 1827.610.11c, 7. In storage battery rooms, 8. In hoistways or on elevators, except as provided in Section 1827.620.21, 9. In commercial garages, 10. Where exposed to oil, gasoline, or any liquid or vapor having a deleterious effect on insulation, 11. As service entrance cable. Obviously tough requirements. I assume because of the strong Union presence and the Great Fire of 1871 wish the news was better. Thanks.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit JustAnswer.com/YTHI.